Happy Sentinels Tuesday, everybody. I am back on Tabletop Simulator this week, and we are looking at a new villain. And the fun thing about this villain is it's Thor, and it's not like the Thor from the Marvel Cinematic Universe or even Norse mythology. This is the Thor from Records of Ragnarok, created by Zarami, who's of course doing that set. Since the last time I did one of Zarami's decks, they've made these cool little boxes for all the decks. Just like, that's Menagerie, right? Yeah, it's Menagerie that has all the boxes. And they also have stuff on the back. It says the villain's based on the manga anime Record of Ragnarok. After the gods were convinced by Brunhilde to do Ragnarok instead of destroying humanity directly, to start the fight they decided to bring their strongest god, Thor. The only thing the god expected is for a worthy fight. Thor is the definition of strength, so to get past his strength, you'll first have to get rid of Yarngriper, but doing so may make him be more interested in the fight. And that is exactly what happens. Fighting Thor is Lacomadora, Curse of the Black Spot, Quicksilver Test Subject Harbinger 1, Daedalus's Stupid variant, and a new variant for Applejack where she's a little kid. The funny thing is that the rate I'm going to be wrapping around and having extra variants for them before I even get through this wave. And we're fighting in Farside City. Alright, so, start of the game, put Thor's villain character into play Unbeatable God side up. Please ignore the fact that it says Thunder Berserker instead. Search the deck for Yarngriper, put it into play, then put H+2 tokens in Thor's power pool. Yarngriper is indestructible, cards under it aren't considered in play. Reduce damage dealt to Thor by X, where X is the number of tokens in the power pool. Whenever Thor is dealt damage, remove a token from the power pool, and whenever there are 0 tokens in the power pool, he flips. End of the villain turn, he deals the hero target with the highest HP for melee damage. Now, Yarngriper, you might be wondering, where the hell is Mjolnir? This card actually does explain that. It is the perfect foil to Mjolnir, apparently. Start of the villain turn, put a card under Yarngriper into play. Whenever a villain one-shot would be played from the villain deck, put it under Yarngriper. The start of each turn, if Yarngriper is at 0 or fewer HP, remove a token from the power pool and restore it to 10 HP. So this is how you get through the power pool, at least in the early parts of the game. So that's all we need to know. Here we go. No cards under Yarngriper, so we just play. Eternal Boredom, reduce damage dealt to Thor by 1. That's perfectly fine. At the end of each hero turn, if Thor or Yarngriper haven't been dealt damage this turn, add a token to Thor's power pool. That is less fine. End of turn, he will hit Daedalus for 4. And that's it. So we need to either get rid of that or, start dealing some damage. And thankfully, Lacomadora can do both. So I'm going to play Timeless Treasure and go ahead and pop Yarngriper for 2, discard the top card of her deck, draw a card, and then she can draw a card, and Quicksilver can draw a card, and I guess Applejack can draw a card because Daedalus do not like card. Alrighty, let's start with Liquid Metal. That gets me Mercury Strike and a Forest of Needles. We will have her deal herself 2 damage to start the combo. Hit Yarngriper for 3, and then let's see, 6 melee damage to a target with more than 8 HP. Hilariously, Thor would soak that. Let's do Guard Breaker, because I can use that on Thor, hit him for 3 irreducible melee damage, take a token out of the power pool. And I'm really only doing that because he has extra damage reduction right now. Normally, as previous game showed, you don't want to drain his pool too fast. You want to have time to set up. So power, Returning Spear, discard the top 2 cards of your deck or put a card from your trash into your hand. I will do that. Get Mercury Strike back, draw a card. Don't get any tokens because I dealt damage to both of those things. Let's do Eureka Moment and destroy that ongoing so I don't have to worry about it anymore. And then we will discard a card. His power is Athena Helm. Reveal the top 2 cards of a deck, discard 1, put the other one back on top of its deck. So of course we're going to look at the villain deck. We have Offering and we have Gyroar. Gyroar would be really bad because it's a lot of destruction early in the game. So we'll put Offering back on top, draw a card. Alright, it's time to raise this barn. Yeah, Daedalus will actually draw. He actually has nothing that will hurt him. Go find Sweet Apple Acres, put that into play. And her power is Find Yourself. Reveal the bottom card of your deck. If it shares a keyword with a card in your hand, you may put it into play or in your hand. If not, discard it. This will probably work. Ongoing Limited. Yes, shares limited. I will play Kix McGee. Draw a card. Farside City plays the Atmosphere Generator. Darn. This card is indestructible. Start of the environment turn. If it's got 0 or fewer HP, it deals each target other than itself 2 toxic damage. End of the environment turn. A player may discard a card to heal it for 1. So we won't have to do that for a little bit. Okay, nothing under Yarngriper, so Thor plays Offering, which is a one-shot, so that goes under Yarngriper, and then he hits the highest for 4, that's Daedalus. Alright, let us discard a card, keep that in play. I'm going to play Combat Timing, do 2 damage to Yarngriper, discard the top card of her deck, darn, draw a card, and then she can draw a card, and Applejack can draw a card, and I'm going to have Daedalus draw a card because he doesn't have any neat stuff yet. And that's her turn. Alright, close to actually getting that first token out of his pool. That being said, it would be very helpful to play Combo Chain. Yeah, fine, I'm gonna Iron Retort. She'll heal to draw a card, and we'll grab that Guard Breaker back to her hand and draw another card. I'm sure she'll take damage at some point. Alright, let's play Hoplite Armor Mark 7. We'll use its power, discard a card, play the Icarus. I can use an additional power, so we will Athena Helm. Weakening Blow is kind of nasty, so we're gonna try that, I guess. And yes, draw a card. Winona is not going to be useful in this fight. I could get a little bit of damage off of her, but Thor is not going to be dealing 2 or 3 damage, like, ever. Let's play Bloomberg. Power, she will find herself. Let's raise this barn. I got 1 shots in hand, let's go ahead and play that. Everybody draw a card, yes, including Daedalus. Everybody's gonna have so many cards in hand, oh my god. I might actually drop Timeless Treasure and put something else out. One player may play a house. Well, nobody can. Draw 2 cards, which I forgot to do last round, but whatever. I will discard a card and buck Bloomberg for 2 more cards. Alright, Atmosphere Generator does not kill us. Crater Ape, yay! They're immune to damage dealt by environment targets. End of the environment turn, each preserver artifact gains a hit point, then 1 player may draw a card, because that's important. Commodora. Alright, start of turn, we play this card from under Yarn Griper. It's Offering. That's the one I put on top. Choose the hero play area with the most targets. That is Applejack. Thor deals each target in that play area H+1 lightning damage. Then he regains X HP, where X is H plus the number of targets dealt damage this way. So that's going to be 5. Taking out Bloomberg. She hits him back for nothing, unfortunately. And then he heals back to full. That was the start of his turn. And he plays Not Needed Anymore, which is a 1-shot. So that goes under Yarn Griper. He hits the highest for 4. That is La Commodora. We will prevent that damage and have her deal Yarn Griper 2 projectile damage and destroy that card. Well, I think I'll keep Timeless Treasure out just because I have nothing else to play, really. Harnessed Anomaly, I'm going to do this on her. Ship Shape, fantastic. And then Concordant Helm. Take Yarn Griper down to -1. Discard the top card of her deck. Oh, there's that cannon portal. Draw a card. Put the bottom card of her deck in her hand. And then everybody but Daedalus draw a card. Man, Quicksilver did not get hit at all. Oh well. Alright, and now restore this to 10 and remove a token. I could actually hurt him with Forest of Needles, but I want to play Combo Chain. I'm just going to set her up as she continues to gain cards. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, it's time for Graviton Cannon. Power. I will discard a card and play Archimedes Failsafe, so I've got that out. And then we'll take another look at Thor's deck. Piqued Interest is maybe less bad. Maybe. Let's try it. Get rid of another Weakening Blow. And then he will draw no cards, because he'll have plenty come next turn. I've got a pony and I've got La Commodora, so everybody has all the cards forever. It would be good if I could get through his damage reduction. Play AJ's Hat and then use its power to grab a tree. Apple Tree. I can destroy this card. No, I'm good with that. Draw a card, draw another card, and discard a card. Block the Apple Tree, and somebody heals 3. That'll actually be herself. Alright, Atmosphere Generator is still chilling. Farside Manufactory. Cripes, another preserver artifact. This one deals fire damage if it's dead at the start of turn. End of the environment turn, a player may draw 3 cards. If they do, this card deals itself 2 fire damage. Well, you know what? We're not going to do that. Each preserver artifact regains a hit point, then 1 player may draw a card. La Commodore is low on cards. She needs more. Can you tell? Alright, start of turn, we play the card underneath Yarn Griper. It is not needed anymore. If Yarn Griper's in play, set its HP to 0, so boop, and remove a token from the power pool. Otherwise, destroy a villain ongoing card. If either of these happens, Thor deals the hero with the highest HP H times 2 lightning damage. So that is La Commodora. Where's freaking combat timing? Yeah, otherwise put the top card of the villain deck in place. So La Commodora takes a pile of damage. That's kind of okay. We're sort of mostly doing good on damage. End of turn, it's the highest for 4. That is Quicksilver. I will destroy Iron Retort and play Stress Hardening. I'm just absolutely refusing to do anything with her. I think when he flips, that will change. And Yarn Griper goes back to 10. Alright, start of turn. I'm going to let this go. We don't need it anymore. And then I will take my draw phase first, and then I will play, do I want to play Way Anchor or just the cannon? Let's just do the cannon portal. Power. Pop Yarn Griper for 2, discard the top card of her deck, put the bottom card of her deck in her hand, and hit Yarn Griper for 3. So she has +1 damage dealt. What else could I put out? Malleable Armor. That'll be good. Power, throw Iron Retort back in her hand, draw a card. It's really amazing how getting cards out of her trash is very good for her. Alright, start of Daedalus's turn. He deals a target 5 energy damage and draws 5 cards. Let's hit Yarn Griper. Draw 5 cards. And if he has 7 or more cards in hand at the end of his turn, that blows up, which is bad. Whew. That being said, let's see, is Gravitic Snare worth it? No. Force Wave Doru is never worth it. Oh, you know what? I finally see what the difference between Force Wave Doru and Atlas Gravity Well is. Atlas Gravity Well hits more stuff, but it also draws more cards. So, this check goes off at the start of each turn, which already checked because that was the start of his turn. This came into play first. Okay, I'm going to skip his play phase, as dumb as that sounds, and I'm going to use Hoplite Armor to discard a card and play the Force Wave Doru of all things. I was going to use that, but I don't think I will. We'll go ahead and use Athena Helm one more time. Did I forget to play a card? I think I forgot to play a card for him. Hang on. Oh, that's right. That's another one shot, so that's fine. So we've got Weakening Blow and Not Needed Anymore. For the sake of science, we will put Weakening Blow on top so that we can see what that does. And draw and discard nothing. That's probably good. Need to remember I can discard at the start of turn. Okie dokie. Yarn Griper is restored to 10 HP. Let's do Cider Season. Everybody heal 2. She's back to full. Power, I'm going to go looking for another tree. Let's grab a Zap Apple. Draw 2 cards. And then, oh good, I finally got the card I was looking for. I will discard 2 cards. Apple Tree to heal La Commodore for 1. Or for 3, rather. And the Zap Apple to hit Yarn Griper for 2. Alright, nothing happens at the start of the environment turn. Farsighter Xenophobes. Increase damage dealt by this card by 2 if Lady Lunar is in play. And the environment turn, this card deals a hero target with lowest HP 1 psychic damage. If they're dealt damage this way, they discard a card. Oh no, how terrible. Who's got the lowest HP? It's Quicksilver. I'd better have her draw a card first. Oh boy. So she gets hit for 1 and has to discard a card. Quel dommage. Oh yeah, I forgot to remove the token. Alright, start of turn. He plays Piqued Interest. Increased damage dealt by Thor by 2 until the end of the next villain turn. So this is going to stick around for whatever he plays next round, which is terrible. Shuffle the villain trash into the villain deck. Discard cards from the top of the villain deck till an ongoing is discarded. Put into play. Oh right, I kind of forgot about that. Oh, and we get Eternal Boredom again. Great. End of turn, he hits the highest for 6. That is Daedalus, who takes 5. End of each hero turn, if Thor or Yarn Griper have not been dealt damage, add a token to the power pool. Alright, let us discard to keep Cannon in play, which lets her draw a card, and then we draw 2 cards. I think it's a good time for Way Anchor. Harnessed Anomaly. Cool. Let us harness... Don't want to play random cards from Daedalus. Let us harness the anomaly that is Bloomberg. Oh, the Iron Pony. Fantastic. Let's deal a target 4 melee damage, destroying the Farsighter Xenophobe so she can draw 2 cards. Because, you know, Applejack is desperately in need of cards. And I can draw a card or play a card. Do I have another Way Anchor? I absolutely do. Chronological Sweet Spot. Fantastic. Except... No, actually that's fine, because it only plays 1 shots. Daedalus will be fine. Let's hit Yarn Griper for 2. We don't get any tokens this turn. Discard the top card of her deck, put the bottom card of her deck in her hand. Hit Yarn Griper for 3, and then we do Chronological Sweet Spot. That's not a 1-shot. That's not a 1-shot. That's not a 1-shot. That's not a 1-shot. That did absolutely nothing. Thanks. Alright, let's see, I have her... It's Vicious Memories, right? So I can draw an extra card during her draw phase. Power. If Quicksilver is not dealt damage this turn, she regains 3 HP. That sounds great. Draw 2 cards. Alright. Oh yeah, and we get a token in the power pool because I didn't deal any damage. Oops. Speaking of which, Daedalus. Start of turn, I will discard a card, and then we Graviton Cannon. I'm going to hit Thor for a grand total of 2, reducing his power pool. Draw 5 cards, and that's the Force Wave Doru. That's a power use. So we're going to fly free. I will drop Sensorium Sweep, and off of that I will play Immortality's Burden. That's a little better. Power 1, Hoplite Armor. Let's discard a card and play Eureka Moment to destroy Eternal Boredom. I don't have to worry about that. Again, discard another card. That's not quite enough to get through the damage reduction. That's fine. I'll use Force Wave Doru, draw 2 cards, deal a target 2 energy damage, hit Yarn Griper with that. Don't draw any cards. He heals 2. Okay, Applejack is going to play Beating a Dead Tree, and then we will use the power on Sweet Apple Acres, salvage all trees. I think that's the only one. Yeah, it's the only one. We'll salvage that Zap Apple tree and play it. Draw 2 cards. Oh, good. Good. I will discard 1, 2, 3 cards to hit all of these. who wants to heal 3? Daedalus can heal 3. We'll hit Yarn Graper for 2, and there's nothing else to hit, so we'll just do that. Start of turn, Yarn Graper goes back to 10. We lose a token out of the power pool. He's close to flipping. Woo! Lunar Unrest. At the end of the environment turn, play the top card of the environment deck. Start of the environment turn, if Lady Lunar's in play, she deals each hero target 2 psychic damage and destroys this card. That's always fun. Alright, one player may draw a card. Applejack. Hey, finally, I've been looking for that. One player may draw 3 cards. How about now? Play the top card of the environment deck. Eerie Conduit. Okay, we have all the Preserver artifacts now. This one deals energy damage if it has 0 HP. We can play a card to deal that 2 energy damage. I am willing to take that chance. We will play Iron Retort. She heals 2 and draws a card. She's at full, I believe. She's at full. That hits itself for 2. We can do that like every other round and it'll be fine. Okay, he still has +2 damage dealt. We don't know what's on top of his deck. It is a one-shot, thank goodness. So he's just hitting the highest for 6, and that's Daedalus, who takes 5, and he loses the +2 damage dealt. Okay, let's try and wreck his ass. So, discard a card for the cannon, draw a card, and I'm going to let Chronological Sweet Spot go just because it didn't work very well. And then I draw 2 cards. Harnessed Anomaly. Put Chronological Sweet Spot back in her deck. Peridoha Figurehead. Excellent. Off of that, I will play Maria Elena's slot. Alright. Let's hit Thor for 2, increased to 3, reduced to 2, reducing all the tokens in his thingy. He flips. 2 Awakened Relic. When flipped to the side, remove Yarn Griper from the game. So, we don't have to worry about the card under it. That goes to his trash. It was Weakening Blow. We have successfully avoided playing Weakening Blow. At the start of each hero turn, Thor regains 2 HP, which is horrible. Reduce damage dealt to him by X, where X is the number of tokens in his power pool. Increase damage dealt by Thor by 1, which is also terrible. Whenever he's dealt damage, remove a token from the power pool. And at the end of the villain turn, reveal the top card of the villain deck. If it's a one-shot, put it into play, otherwise discard it. So that was her power. I don't remember if I discarded the top card of her deck. I don't think I did. Darn it, I keep discarding the cards that I put into her deck. Bottom card of her deck into her hand, and then we will do 4 damage to him, and move Paradoha Figurehead to Quicksilver. He heals 2. Goodness gracious, what are we going to do? The answer is we are going to Liquid Metal. Gets me an Alloy Storm, and... oh, and no finishers. Well, she will hit herself for 3. Oh, hey, look at that. She has +1 damage dealt to non-hero targets, along with her +1. I can play a combo. Let's start with Alloy Storm. Why not? Steals each non-hero target 1, 2, 3 projectile damage. Oh wait, actually, no, because Combo Chain prevented that. So, just doing 2 projectile damage, which is fine, because I'm hitting everything with this, and I kind of don't want to. All the Preserver artifacts need to stay in play. She will deal herself 3 melee damage. Now she has +1 damage dealt to non-hero targets, and will play another combo. Coalescing Spear, 3, 4, 5 projectile damage. She'll deal herself 3 melee damage, and play another combo. Mercury Strike. 2 and 1 becomes 3 and 2 becomes 4 and 3, so 7 damage to Thor. She'll hit herself for 3, play another combo. Mercury Strike, another 7 damage. She'll hit herself for 3, play another combo. I'm not going to do that Alloy Storm. Okay, she doesn't hit herself for 3. We will do Forest of Needles. 6 melee damage to a target with more than 8 HP, 7, 8. Heal that off, you son of a bitch. And now she gets to use a power. I will take back a Mercury Strike and draw 2 cards. Thor heals 2, like a bitch. Okay, a start of turn, Graviton Cannon. We have this. 5 damage to him, draw 5 cards. All I have to do is get to the power phase, or I could not even do that. Icarus Bombardment, draw 4 cards. Daedalus deals up to 3 targets, 300 damage each, and we win. Hey look, it's really cool if Quicksilver does nothing all game. So that worked out pretty well. The test game went a little harder because he kept healing off all the damage I was doing. But not when you do like 33 damage in a turn. So let's take a look at the rest of his deck. Weakening Blow. This is that card that I never played. Thor deals the hero with the highest HP 3 melee damage. That hero cannot use powers during its next turn. Thor deals the hero with the most cards in play 3 projectile damage. That hero cannot play cards during its next turn. Thor deals the hero with the most cards in hand 3 lightning damage. That hero cannot draw cards during its next turn. So that's a lot of damage to spread around. Hopefully it gets spread around. Thor's Hammer. Thor deals the 2 hero targets the highest HP, H lightning damage each. Thor deals the hero target with the lowest HP, H-2 projectile damage. Each player discards X cards, where X is the number of times the target they control took damage this way. 1 Swing. Destroy all environment cards. This is a horrible card. Thor deals all non-villain targets X sonic damage, where X is 3, plus the number of cards destroyed this way. That can be a lot of damage. Gyroar. Thor deals the hero with the most non-character cards in play, H melee damage. Destroy H-2 ongoing or equipment cards belonging to a hero dealt damage this way. If a non-character target is dealt damage this way, destroy H-hero non-character cards. Charge, ongoing, increase damage dealt by Thor by 1. At the end of the villain turn, he deals the hero with the highest HP, H-1 melee damage. Intimidating Presence, reduce damage dealt by hero targets by 1. At the end of the villain turn, Thor deals all non-villain targets 1 psychic damage. Okay, that could actually make him deal 2 damage. So I take back what I said. Worthy Opponent, play this card next to the hero with the highest HP. Damage dealt by the hero next to this card is irreducible. First time each turn the hero next to this card deals damage to Thor, Thor deals that hero H melee damage. Returning Hit, increase damage dealt by Thor by 1. Whenever damage dealt by Thor to a non-villain target is reduced, Thor deals the same target X irreducible projectile damage, where X is the amount of damage that was reduced. That's really nasty. And that's it. So yeah, that is Thor. He is a mover and a shaker, shall we say. Really strong hitter. The only real advantage that the heroes have in this game is that his HP is so low, and if you have a lot of irreducible damage, you can deal a lot of damage to him on his front side. But that's all for this one. You can find Thor on Zarami's Vault and Sentinels of Ragnarok. Thank you for coming to chat. It's nice seeing everybody there. As always, Tabletop Simulator, the Revo Sentinels Cauldron DLC, Sentinels of Ragnarok, Walker's Workbench are not licensed against products. Please support the official release and flip.